Hello, family. Welcome back to the African Diaspora News channel. I'm Wongel Zelalem, and if you are here with me, joining me on this live, then that means you have made it. We have made it through the floods. That is, you have to laugh. You have to laugh, and yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So there is a person that goes by the name of Ebo Noah. Okay. Noah is there for a reason. Anybody that is familiar from the Bible, like if you've read the Bible, if you're a Christian, you know Noah. And in that story, there's an ark that Noah builds because God spoke to him. And that's a vision God gave him in order to preserve humanity and animals. So he gathered a female and male of every species as well as his family and boarded the ark, and they were able to survive that flood. It turns out there's a flood 2.0. Well, there was supposed to be a flood yesterday. There's a self proclaimed prophet. Um, his name is, as I said, Ebo. And his claim was God gave him a vision and he told him that he is going to destroy the earth via flood. And so, in order to prepare, he needs to build arcs. I believe it was like five or so. He is supposed to build arcs, and then he allows certain people to board so they can, survive. Basically, but 25th, which is the prediction, he predicted that it's going to be on the 25th of December, 2025, Christmas Day. It came and passed. Today, as we speak, it is 26th of December. So I guess you and I, we have survived. In case you haven't seen the person, this is Ebo Noah. He took, he changed his last name. I'm assuming, at least when it comes to online, that is the name that he goes by, Ebo Noah, and that's him. He, as you can see, people are following him, taking pictures, videos. He dresses up the way you're looking at him right now. That's how he's usually dresses up, even when he's invited. By the way, he gives interviews to podcasts. He even appeared on, let me show you, appeared on stage. Yeah, that's him at a concert giving his speech. Behind him, as you can see, there's a visual art of flooding and water, and that's like his outfit. That's what he is dressed like. Many of us might look at this and say, he's just being funny. But no, he's very serious. That's what he tells his people. And unfortunately, a lot of people believed in him to the point where they were traveling to Ghana. There was one video I saw of a man from Liberia traveled all the way to Ghana, and he is stranded because guess what? The flooding never happened. But this man believed him so much that he packed his bags, his luggage, and traveled to Ghana. Yeah. It's very sad. Some people, as you know, whenever this doomsday conversation happens, they resign, they sell their house, they sell their cars, and they don't know where else to go after that day passes. And most of them, they even get embarrassed and are afraid of coming back to society. They get depressed because they truly believe that that's what's going to happen. So it's extremely sad. This was, let me show you a clip of people in Ghana after this prediction, or quote unquote prophetic vision. Look at the people trying to board the ark, Ebo's ark, because he said God gave him a vision. Yeah. extremely sad. I know I know a lot of people say they deserve it because how foolish can you be? Why wouldn't you think for yourself? Why wouldn't you? There's so much people say, but for some reason I feel more bad for them than I don't know. I feel bad for them because you have to think how horrible is your life for you to believe this. Because if you claim that you're a Christian, if you are a Christian, Genesis 9:11 should mean something to you. And I'll remind, for those that don't know about it, this is what Genesis 9:11 says. It says, um, God says, I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be cut off by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. And that's like, as a Christian, you should know there's even the rainbow. I know right now the rainbow is. It has a different meaning in this current world, and it represents a different community. But in the Bible, the rainbow was given as a promise, like God was promising Noah and telling him that I'm not gonna strike the earth and use floods, especially floods. So for this for this guy named Ebo Noah to come and tell you there's a flood happening and God's going to destroy it, so you have to come join me, you have to also think or read, like, if you're truly a Christian, that is, you know what I mean. So yeah, like, I feel bad for them. Like, what is going on in your life for you to desperately believe this to be true, even though your own religion does not support his claim, right? It's very, very unfortunate. And by the way, apparently, allegedly, he was taking funds from people, and this is the story I just recently read. So look at that. Ghanaian prophet who built 8 arks now claims that God postponed the flood after using donation. They're claiming that he bought a Mercedes. Though I did see the video, him getting out of the car, fancy car, but that we can't we don't know if he used the funds to actually buy the car, right? So, but I saw the video of him getting out of that specific car. And also there is a debunking, like, people went to the arc that he usually goes to film at and talk to his audience, to give them information, updates on what's going on with the arc. And guess what, fam? This guy is a content creator, or has been, or trying to be a content creator for years. But now it looks like he found his niche. And unfortunately, people are following him and believe that this is true. Let me show, I think I have a clip for you. Let me show you this video.
So he creates content. He's a content creator. So he just saw them doing these things, and then he just did one video saying that he's Noah and this is ark that he's building and stuff like that. And once people started believing it, he just continued. So this is the thing looks like. It's a very huge fishing boat. So this one, if they catch the fish, then go put on for here.
This place where they put their engines there.
Yeah, someone actually went to the place that this man was filming from, and it doesn't even belong to him. He didn't even build the ark. But some people believed in him, fam. Some people traveled all the way to where he is. They packed their bags, they said their goodbyes because they thought, the world is being flooded. Yeah, so yeah, it's unfortunate. Let me read some of your comments. Ashun said, no knowledge. The next thing that's going to happen is fire. I doubt that wooden boat has a chance. King said, yes, it happened. Ren said, greetings. Greetings to you too. Transatlantic slave trade said, Africans always trying to rewrite the Bible. It's very unfortunate. Like, it's so not true. That's the thing I'm talking about. For people to believe in this man that is standing in front of them, but they claim that they're Christians and they have the Bible, and that the Bible refutes what he's saying, is just like, okay, so are you not? Or are you just, do you want to believe in anything just because you're currently not maybe happy with your situation? Maybe you want the world to end. I mean, all of us have felt like this world is very cruel, and I'm sure we have our moments, but come on now, like, let's not fall into this. And this is not this man is a flood. But I remember this year, a few months back, is this September? Any of you watched the guy from South Africa that was claiming that the world is coming to an end, and they were even having like a countdown? Everyone sat down, waited. Oh goodness, I remember this guy. I think he's Australian because he has an accent. He sold his car. He documented online selling his car because he genuinely, completely believed the man when he said that the world is ending. So it's not just him, but he documented it. That's why we know about it. He sold his car. Now he's still here. He's changing the goalpost. He keeps saying, okay, maybe it was in September, but a different day. Maybe it's next month. Maybe it just keeps going and going and going and going. And at some point, you have to realize, like, it doesn't matter if it's today. Live your life the best way you can. Do your best. And what else can you do? Like, you can't continue living in that kind of. Now this guy doesn't even have a car. I don't even know how he's working, how he's surviving. At some point, people were making fun of him. I can only imagine how life could get even harder for you, because now you're thinking, okay, now people are looking at me weird. They think I'm foolish. They think they look down on me because I made this huge declaration and it never came through. So it also impacts people's lives after the fact. And it's not just that moment where they're selling and they're traveling. And this Liberian man, like, you can see how defeated he looks after traveling all the way to Ghana and being defeated. Like, for that man, probably for Ebo, this was content, because as I told you, they said that he was an aspiring content creator. But people believed in him and lost their assets and their family members as well, because some have cut contact with their family because they're that embarrassed. Okay. Muwaki said, I do not know what happened to mankind, but it is clear in the Bible. Matthew chapter 24 verse 36 states, quote, but of that day and hour no one knows, not even angels of heaven, but my Father only. If you're a Christian, you should believe that. You should not be out here believing anybody and every self-proclaimed prophets here and there. Like, you have to discern, you have to read, you have to use some of that, discernment that you were given. Transatlantic said, you are not gods or prophets. G Weezy said, everywhere the archaeologists have proven a time agreed upon flood. Research before filling people with idealism information. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what that means, but it doesn't matter what the archaeologists say. If you are gonna claim, this is we're talking about Christians, the people that are following the self-proclaimed prophet are Christians, and these Christians are claiming that they are Christians. That's why they're believing in the Noah's Ark. That's why they're believing this man when he's saying that there's a flood coming. God gave him a vision. They're believing in his vision. So if they are, we're not talking about science, archaeology. We're not talking about other religions, because honestly, I don't have a lot of information on that. But if you're a Christian, as I said, you just need to read Genesis 9:11. It was promised to Noah that it's not going to happen again. So yeah, unfortunately, people believed him, and his prediction was 25th, which was yesterday, and today's 26th. We are here. We are both here right now. Yeah, we have survived. Seeking said, Noah started building 120 years before the flood came. Yeah, this man, it turns out he was a content creator. Like, someone went to the ark and filmed. Let me show you.
Creator. So he just saw create content. He's a content creator. So he just saw them doing these things, and then he just did one video saying that he's Noah and this is ark that he's building and stuff like that. And once people started believing it, he just continued. So this is the thing looks like. It's a very huge fishing boat. So this one, if they catch the fish, then we put on for here.
This space where they put their engines there.
You saw that. So basically, he's not even like in a church or so. Like he started posting videos, people started believing in him, so he milked it to the point where now all that chaos ensued, and now people truly believe that that was the case. All these people, look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Randy said, I shouldn't be surprised, but people are so gullible. They are, and that's, I think that is what I was saying earlier. It's not just about what someone is saying to you to convince you. It's like they were prepared to believe it, whatever the case may be, because they are done. For whatever reason, they are happy to leave this earth, or for this earth to be, what is it called, like flooded and destroyed. So what is it exactly that you are not happy with your life, or you hate so much for it to be over, right? And so it's I think it's a deeper conversation. This is not the first guy that did this, right? He is not. Surely 2 months ago or so, there was another self-proclaimed prophet in South Africa that said the earth is getting destroyed, so people sold their cars. I wish I brought that clip of the guy. He was so defeated after the date passed, and he's like, oh, like I thought it was real. He started giving excuses. That's the real issue that we need to address. What is up with our people? Why are we falling for this stuff? For a content creator, for God's sake, like a content creator that comes rolling in his Mercedes Benz, and this is the same guy. This is the guy that people believed and followed. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. We need to help our people. Like, that's the main thing. A concern said he is a content creator, not a prophet. Yes, the boats are not his. He was even beaten by some gangs for using those boats to create content. Now, we knew he was a content creator, and we knew that those boats were not his, but now you gave us a new information. You said he was even beaten. So the people that whooped his ass, were they the owners of the boat? I would love to know. That part I didn't hear, although I was seeing videos and pictures of him getting arrested floating around, but the picture is AI, so I think people make that up. I don't think he's arrested. FBA Empowerment said, what is he trying to do? Rewrite the Bible? Yeah, and I think he have that thing they call, what is it called? Main character energy. So he's like, I need to recreate this. I need to be part of history. I need to do this. And, unfortunately, in that process, he definitely hurt many people. Many, many, many people. Oh, yeah. Hey, Emma, thank you so much. It was Joshua Malekala. Yes, that's him. Exactly. That man. Did he even apologize, by the way? I don't remember him apologizing. Maybe he did and I missed it, but he didn't even apologize after all the mess he created, like the people, all, and him, for some reason, with Joshua, it became worldwide. Like, it was not just limited to South Africa. A lot of people even traveled, no, not traveled, believed in his cause worldwide, and they were live streaming, having a countdown all over the world, live streaming there, I think 10 or 20 or whatever, and they're doing countdowns. Oh, that was such a cringy video to watch, because they're counting down, nothing is happening, they're waiting, nothing, and then they start saying, oh, maybe the time that God gave him is the time that's what is it called, Jerusalem time, not South African time. So now they continue to count. Oh my God, it was just painful to watch. That's the word. That was painful to watch. Um, let me read some of you. Yeah, FBA said whatever is going to happen to the earth isn't going to whatever is going to happen to the earth and isn't going to help. As we said, lack of education, religion creates followers, not thinkers. It's when okay, let me say this. Let me say this as a person that is of faith as well. I don't believe you're supposed to just follow, or you're supposed to have faith without without evidence. I don't think things work like that way. You have to read, you have to question. If you don't have answers, push. If it doesn't make sense, make up your mind, decide, do what you need to do. So most people, I think, they don't like questioning, and they feel like that's a sin on its own, which I don't believe. If it doesn't make sense to you, you continue to ask, you keep finding out. And what I found out is the more you ask, I found answers. So yes, like for some people, they just believe blindly without really doing their research, right? Or maybe it was given to them through their parents, so they just follow it blindly. Ren said, when you put the faith in man instead of TMH, this is unfortunately the end result. Oh, the Most High. Yes, okay. I was wondering, what is TMH? I think it's the Most High, right? Yes, I agree with you. They believed in this man more than their own Bible. So let's see. Emma said he's a heathen. And then Emma also said, nope, never did. He disappeared. Correct. Like this are, and you know what's unfortunate? The people that the mass is following, they're not even men of like virtue, men of principle. You see, you don't have to be religious to be a good person. And when you look at them, like, you've created such a mess, at least come and apologize, say I misheard God, or my vision maybe got distorted, I'm so sorry, like you have to go through this, I'm so, like, nothing, you don't even apologize. Like, that shows, or that tells you a lot about the character of the person. So if you're following a person that his character is that much flawed, where are you headed, family? Where are you headed? You have to think twice. Emma said, so cringe. Yeah. uh FBA's explained. Okay, earlier I didn't understand what you wrote. What I was saying is, whatever is going to happen to the earth and ark is not going to save us, especially that ark. I think Noah's ark in the Bible, if you read, like, it was so detailed, and it was supposed to like be a good vessel, right? But this one, have you seen the ones that he's standing next to and filming himself? It definitely is not going to save anybody. It is not going to save anybody. Ving Ta said, I also have a feeling such individuals have a sort of power they use to pull followers. You think? Like, if you say power, I'm interested. Like, I'm interested to hear, what do you mean by power? Like, what kind of power? You mean like supernatural power, or power as in they're charismatic, they can influence people with their words? What do you mean by power? Because I'm intrigued. I always ask myself, how are you able to draw in thousands and hundreds of thousands of people? Not just draw them in, take their money, convince them what you believe in, and change their mind, and literally, like, rob them of their life savings and their livelihood. How do they manage? And and most of them, if you notice, they have, like, I don't know about this specific Igbo guy, since we heard this, he's a content creator, but others, there's like a similarity. They're very cultish, and they make sure that they separate you from your family members, your friends. Now that you're alone, you're more it's easier for them to manipulate. There was a story in Kenya as well. I covered it a few years back, And until today, the police are finding bodies of these people, like this person, this self-proclaimed, okay, let's, I don't know what to call him, leader. He would tell them that they will need to starve in order to go to heaven. So these people, they're not only starving themselves, but they were starving their own kids. So when the police discovered hundreds of bodies, some of them were from kids, babies. Can you imagine? uh, I don't want to think about it, but yeah. So there's something to them, but I just wonder what it is that they do to people to blind them that way. To I don't get it. I really don't get it. Um, Emma said, we all have to come back to Bible, question anyone who says or does anything that contradicts the scripture. Yes, and even the scripture advises you, like verbatim, to question spirits, to discern. You can't just follow blindly. Then where are you headed? Come on now, like that is part of it. That's why I started by saying, if you're a Christian, this should not make sense to you. You should immediately say no, this doesn't add up. But that's not the case. So as a as sweet said, oh, a sweet pie said, that is so true. Kindness is not religious. Exactly. And these people, they're very questionable. The so-called leaders, the prophets, self-proclaimed prophets, they have some energy. There's unique, it's just, they're not random average people that you meet every day. And it's very clear. And not including this man looks like, I don't know. I look at him and I'm like, he's acting, as we said earlier, main character syndrome. Like he's just acting. Unfortunately, people are following him. And this guy, I told you, right? If you just joined and you missed it, he was on stage. Like, look at the dramatics and the look at that. Yeah, our people need help. Unfortunately, I think this world has been so cruel to our people. We will just believe anything. We're just desperate. We're desperate. Like, that is my opinion on this. Ooh, Ving said, by power, I mean dark powers. I mean, it could be, in Africa, I know in Western world, there's like a different, I don't know. I see conflicting opinions and ideas about like witchcraft and different kinds of things. But in a lot of African cultures and countries, it's known. Like people will tell you, "Ooh, that person does this," or not necessarily. I'm not saying the herbalists. I'm not saying the ones that, what are they called? I forgot the name. Please write in the chat if you know what I'm trying to talk about. Like the ones that help you when you're sick. I forgot what they were called. I forgot what they're called. Not those ones. I'm saying they people will tell you, please keep away from that specific person. They do some sort of things. There's even a belief. I don't know if you've heard this. I've seen like some stores leave their stores open, and I'm like, oh my god, they're not afraid of thieves. They're like, no, the thieves are afraid of getting into that store because they know like there's some what is it called, curse on it. Like, I don't know, maybe tell me if you know down below. But there are stories here of that kind of there are stories. Yes, our people believe in many things like that. So I guess, I don't know. I guess you never know. Randy said, "You're right. No discernment." Yeah, that's what it's giving. Basically, that's what it, outside of not educating yourself in the religion that you say that you claim that you believe in and you follow. On top of that, you also, you know, you're not really studying the person or like seeing their vibe, their aura. What are they saying? Does it make sense? Does it add up? Mm. A sweet pie said, Isn't that what most churches do? Convince people to give up their income for yes, there's that too. I don't know, tithes. I don't know how to say that. Yes, 10% of your earning, right? That's what you're talking about. Um, well, okay, at least that it is in the Bible, but there's also what is it called, like a split between the people that believe that right now in the New Testament, it's not a must that you pay, but you do pay. Like, God blessed you, so you should also give back, because also the church need that, like, to spread the gospel. Okay, I'm not here to talk about religion today, but it's just, it happens, the topic is about this self-proclaimed Igbo. So there's people disagree on tithes as well. There are a camp that believes that you always have to give 10%, and there's a camp that teaches that it's not 10%. If you can give, you can even give what 100%, you can give 50%. It's not the 10% per se, because now in the New Testament, it's not, you're not expected to do that, but the whole point is about giving back to God, and also for him to bless it for you. um Also, if you don't give the church, then where will they get the money in order to now spread the gospel? That's the conversation. um is Sweet Pie said religion is cruel. Man, I would say yes, religion has been used, and yeah, it can be cruel, but us, unfortunately, men are cruel, and we use what we can to just get our way. It doesn't matter if it's to put down other people, it's to subdue, it's to use, um it's just we use it wrongly, I think. Robert said maybe instead of them having power of some kind, it is just that people become so discouraged they are willing to follow anyone who's charismatic enough to get them to follow them. Yeah, I think part of it is that too. That's why I said earlier, I think charisma also plays into it. Also, their situation combined with there's hope of either going to heaven or being the chosen one to survive this horrendous flood that's gonna happen. Something um, drives them to make that decision, which is sad. Kirk said Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. As Sweet Pie said, Haitians were the only indigenous people who were not enslaved by the white. Thank you, voodoo and Yoruba magic. I met, okay, I didn't have a lot of what is it called, knowledge about voodoo and stuff. I once met a person that is it practices, or she even teaches it, I believe, in universities and stuff. And so it was really interesting to learn about voodoo now from a different perspective, not the movie type where people are pinning stuff on the toy dolls, whatever they're called. But yeah, I wouldn't say I know much though. But that was my introduction to what voodoo priestesses do. Jenim said, "Is Igbo or an acronym for evil, bloody, or?" And I don't know. I think that's his name, if I'm not wrong. As Sweet Pie said, the preachers were the ones who unalived Jesus. John said root workers. Yes, root workers. Root workers. There's another name I'm also looking for. Kirk said Matthew 24:11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Yeah, we're seeing it firsthand. We are seeing it. No home training said that guy is an idiot. Only lost fools listen to him. He don't know. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but many people did believe him. He said he's a clown. Nahum said that same guy, I bet if you ask him, he would say Jesus is white, lost minds. Um, Jen said Ghana did not exist during the time of the Bible. The name and country of Ghana was coined by Westerners. Okay, fam. So thank you for the chat and thank you for the conversation. But that is what Ebo did, and people followed, and we're Bottom line is today is December 26th. His prediction was yesterday, 25th, and we made it. We made it through it. So, anyways, fam, I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Have a blessed night, day, morning, wherever you're watching this from. Bye.